Hello, hi everyone. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, good evening.
Okay.
Good evening, Venkatesh.
Good evening. Okay. So quickly, let's start the session. Let me recall what we discussed yesterday. So we discussed regarding what are we going to cover in this project training level 2 program. And we also discussed regarding what are the different types of projects. Before that, we tried to cover what are the parts for S4HANA. We saw one-step approach, two-step approach, and three-step approach. Then we discussed regarding multiple types of projects. For example, we discussed regarding the greenfield implementation. We have seen the brownfield, which is nothing but conversion. And we saw the rollout, support project, and a small project like POC and the pilot project. So we just understood what are the overview of the project types. Now, today we will be discussing regarding the project experience. I'll be taking one business as an example and discuss how are we going to discuss with business and how are you going to understand how is the business functioning there. And as a consultant, what all are the objects you need to take care? Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me know if it is visible. So today we'll be discussing regarding one of the project type. One is, I'm going to pick one industry, which is the construction-based industry. Why I am picking this industry is this industry is a bit tricky compared to all the industries, because if you have idea on working on construction based industry, then it will be easier to explain how it is worked in pharmaceutical company as well as the automobile industry. Okay, so now assume that this construction based industry is coming and asking that they want to implement SAP. Basically, they are looking for an SAP implementation. It might be a greenfield implementation, it might be conversion project, anything. We have no idea are they using SAP or not. So let us take, it might be greenfield, it might be brownfield, or it might be a rollout also. So first thing, what we need to understand from business is from which all country are they operating? Basically, where are their legs? Where is the business legs available and from where all they are operating? Okay, for example, let me take that they have 4 legs available in all over the world and they're operating from 4 countries. Let me take 4 countries. So when you are asking this question, you need to be very careful. You need to have an idea how the enterprise structure works and how the currency structure works, all those things. So this company has said me that they have 4 branches all over the world. One branch is in US, one branch is in Middle East. Let me take Saudi Arabia. One branch is in Europe. One branch is in India. Let me take these 4 branches they have. Now, before we go ahead and discuss about this construction-based industry, we need to understand what is this construction business. Because this type of question is being asked by many companies. What type of project you have worked and what industry you have worked on and what is the experience you have there and how did you deal with those business. So that is the reason you need to understand first what types of industries you have in the market. So the major companies or major industries which are implementing SAP is, one is the construction-based industry, one is the automobile industry, one is the FMCG. Let me make a note here. So for example, construction, automobile. Let me give an example also. So in India, you have Puravankara, all those things. Automobile, you can take Toyota as an example. FMCG, you have a lot of FMCG companies in world, so you can take Hindustan. You have pharmaceutical industry, steel industry, and you have oil and gas industry. In this oil and gas, you also have the mining industry coming in. So these are some of the examples of industries. There are a lot of industries in the market. If you check, there are a lot of industries. But when the company is planning to implement SAP, they are going to check if their business will suit SAP or not. That is the first thing they will check from their end. After they check from their end, only then they will come to us for asking, how is SAP implementation going to take care of their business? Okay, so a lot of industries are construction, automobile, FMCG, and pharmaceutical, and now steel industry and oil and gas also are coming into SAP implementation. Okay, so when you're preparing your resumes, you also need to mention that in which type of industry you have worked, and among that industries, you need to pick one business and start researching regarding that business. So think that you have experience of around 5 to 6 years experience or 3 years experience in your as an end user. So check for which companies you're working. That company will become your best industry to work on. So for example, if you are working for you're working for Hindustan, or you're working for any end user for purchasing for manufacturing industry, for example, Volvo or any of the automobile industries, then take that business as an example and try building your analysis on it. So how is the business working? What is a business case? And how they are purchasing the material? What are the activities they are going to do? And how are they processing the RFQ process? How are they dealing with vendors? So these are the information you need to collect. Because in interviews, there might be some questions asking you, if you have worked with this type of industries, what are the challenges you have faced in those industries? You will be able to answer those type of questions only when you have idea on that business. If someone is coming and asking you, what are the activities happening in construction based industry? We don't know, because we have not worked on a real-time project. If you are working as an end user, you will know only in the perspective of procurement. You know that you need to buy this material from this vendor. You're getting a requisition, you're buying it and storing it, that's all. But why the business is buying that material? Keeping that material, what are they going to do? Are they directly selling it? Are they doing any manufacturing? Because the consultant should know the in and out of the business completely. You should know the business in and out completely. Only then you will be able to implement the SAP there. If someone is asking, I want this process to build an SAP, you need to think the pros and cons. If I build this process, if I implement this process in SAP, what are the advantages they can see? And also you need to think what are the disadvantages they will be seeing when they implement SAP. So that is the reason you need to know, or you need to fix one industry as of now. That should be today. And you need to gather the information. Second case, if you're not working in any of the manufacturing industry, or you don't know how you have no idea of the industries, you're working in an MNC. In that case, you're giving service to some business. For example, you'll be placing a purchase orders to suppliers, or you will be just doing a goods receipt. You will be verifying the invoices which were received from vendors. In that case, you need to mention that you have worked on the service-based industries. Even service-based industries are using SAP. So analyze how you can gather the information based on the service-based industries. That is for some set of people who are working in service-based. And the third set of people, the freshers. The people who are working in different domain, for example, design, or some people who are still freshers, have no idea. So think in which industry you have some idea. Pick that industry and then start analyzing the data from there. understand what is the revenue they are building, what are the products they are selling. If they are selling the products, how they are differentiating the products, from which category of vendors are they buying the material, all those things. So that is the thing you guys need to do. If you do that analysis, then you will be able to answer the real-time questions, because we don't have any chance of working in real time. If you're freshers, then you might get some calls from less experience, and you also need to clear the global certification. Then you'll get some calls. You will go into business. Once you complete one end-to-end implementation, you will know how business is working, how to answer business, all those things. As of now, we don't have any idea. So at least we need to start doing this so that we will know how the business requirements might come. Okay. So this is one suggestion from my end to gather the information from whichever industry you like. Okay. Now coming back to our topic. So if you are mentioning that you are working in a construction-based industry, you need to know what is the business model. So when I say business model, what is your enterprise structure? So each and every company will have their own enterprise structure. If they're using SAP or if they're not using SAP, in both the cases, they will have the structure. What is structure? So structure is nothing but they will tell that I have one company and I have 4 branches all over the world. And this branch is doing this work. And under that branch, we have different plants. And I'm storing the material in this warehouse for this plant. So this is the business model. And you also need to understand what are they producing, what kind of material they are purchasing, what kind of customers and vendors they are handling. So you need to know in and out of the business, as I mentioned. So today we will be discussing regarding the business completely, and we will see what are the SAP requirements and how SAP can be implemented in such type of business. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, they have 4 plants. I'll call them as 4 plants, or I'll call them as 4 legs. And they mentioned that they are construction-based industry. And they're also mentioning that in one plant, they are completely doing the concrete business. In one plant, they are completely doing the concrete business. Take an example that in the US, they are doing the concrete business. Okay. In second plant, they are completely into wood section. If you want to build a house, you need concrete, you need wood. Okay, give me a second. Sorry. 1 second. Yes. So I mentioned that in US plant, they are completely doing a concrete business. They are manufacturing the concrete. They are doing a complete production of concrete. Because again, the US is famous for concrete. So they build the concrete. They have more plants there doing concrete business. They build a lot of houses. So I'm giving concrete to US. This is just an example. Okay. Then we have the wood section. The wood is more important when you're building a home. So they mentioned that business might mention that, or this is just an assumption. They mentioned that they are completely manufacturing the wood in the Europe plant. Okay. Then in India, they are manufacturing the glass and aluminium. Glass and aluminium. If you see a lot of offices, or if you see a lot of home or houses or apartments, they don't build windows with wooden glass. They use aluminium windows, aluminium doors. If you're going to some office and tech park like International Tech Park, All the doors are made of glass and aluminiums. They don't use wood much. They use wood only for the interior purpose, but not for the doors. So glass and aluminum business is happening in India, and they do pots business in Saudi Arabia. When I say pots, it is completely ceramic. They do ceramic in Saudi Arabia. So they mentioned these are the activities they do in each of the plants, and they mentioned that more construction is going to happen based on the concrete side. So they say that apart from these three plants, they are more focused on the US plant because they do a concrete business. So we would be focusing on that side of business, the concrete side of business. So any construction company which we need to do concrete. So now I will be giving an example. Let's say that you need concrete to build a home, right? Let's say in a house, you need what you need to build. So you build with different floors. Okay. The company does not build the home actually there. When I say they are going to build the home, they are not going to build the home in the site. So all the walls, all the mixing of concrete, everything is going to happen in the factory. They just take those and assemble those in the site. So normally what concrete business do, what concrete factory do is they manufacture the wall panels. This is the main business. So when I say wall panels, you see walls in your home, right? So we build walls at the site. So we mix the cement at the site, we bring the bricks, we keep it, and then we put cement between it and build a wall. But these wall panels are not built on site in this construction-based industry. These wall panels are built at the factory. So they have their machines who build or who manufacture wall panels. Nowadays, when you are building a wall for 4 sites, they bring the wall panels and attach it and go. They don't build the walls at the site nowadays. Then the second thing is the roof slab. Roof slab. So what is roof slab? So you put on the top, you put the concrete, right? You put iron, and upon that you put a concrete. So that is a roof slab. Even that is manufactured in the factory. The best example for this concrete-based industry is a metro. So now everywhere in the India we have metro getting established, and they are not building the pillars. The third example is pillars. They're not building the pillars on the site. They get the pillars built in the factory. They are bringing it and they are just assembling it. And the fourth main business for the concrete is the beam. Okay, so these are the main objects for the concrete business. Okay, as I mentioned, they are just assembled at the site. All the construction will happen in the factories. So the factory will be making a design. So they spend a lot of time on the design. So when you talk about house or building, there would be a few things which will be required. So I already listed those here. So using those, they are going to build the home, the initial section of the home. So now this is the first part of the business. The first part of the business is the concrete business. This is the main business for them. The concrete segment is the main business. Now, also I told there are multiple things would be there. So this company have a full solution where they also include pots, woods, and glass, aluminum. It is not only the concrete business, they're also giving different options to the customers where they can include wood, glass, aluminum when they're building the home. So once you have the wall panels built in your factory and the concrete part is done, then you come to the wood section where you build the windows, doors, all those things. And you also use this wood for the interior. After that, you need to furnish the pots. When I say ceramics, you also need to build the toilets, right? So you get the ceramics and then get assembled in your home or apartments. So there are basically four factories, as I mentioned here, where they're producing different products. The factory number one is a concrete. Factor number two is a pots, three is a wood, and the four is a glass and aluminum. So normally in construction-based industry, they will use their own words. Not only in construction-based industry, whenever you're working in any of the industry, when you're going to enter to implement SAP in any of the industry, they will be using their own language, which is not, which we don't know, and the business is adopted to that language. For example, they call wood as joinery. They don't call wood. They call it joinery. Joinery means joinery completely works on the wood. Joinery will explain you how, what type of wood they are using. If it is an apartment, then they would be having 6 or 8 floors, and they'll be building different types of windows, doors. The main door will be having different wood, and based on the requirement, they change the wood. There are also multiple components would be there when they're building the wood or the doors. Okay, the furniture comes into picture when you're building an apartment, or when someone is getting apartment built. They will also define that it is a semi-furnished or fully furnished. If it is semi-furnished or fully furnished, you need the wood to be there. The furniture should be produced at the factory itself. So everything is going to happen at the factory. So concrete is a precast. Joinery is the wood. And they call ALG is nothing but glass. And the pots, all ceramics. Okay. So these are the first explanation which business gives you. So when they give an explanation on their business, we need to get them recorded, or you need to make a note of somewhere. So the main thing is everything is getting manufactured in the factory itself. They're sending walls, roof panels, pillars, beams, the joinery, ALG, pots, everything at the factory itself, and they're getting assembled it at the site. Okay, they're going to take the project. They're going to work for 2 years, and they're going to give fully completed, fully furnished rooms. Let's say it's 3 BHK or 4 BHK, and they're going to give it within 2 years to the customers. Okay, so this is what the business overview is. They first give the overview of the business. Okay, first you need to understand how the business is functioning before you start asking your questions. When I say you want to build the enterprise structure for this business, how are you going to build enterprise structure for this? That will be your first task. So this is your construction-based industry. Construction-based industry has given an overview saying that this is the business they are doing in different plants and what is the activity happening in each and every plant. And they are also mentioned what type of business they do with customers, all those things. Now, this is just an overview. Still, they have a lot of information. We still don't know what is the activities it is going to happen in the manufacturing plant. We still don't know from where they are going to buy the materials. How are the materials segregated? All those things. We are still under discussion in the business overview. Okay. So before I move to the questions which a consultant should ask business, any questions till now? Any questions? In this level 2, we will not have much design to do. We will not show any system here. We will just discuss how a consultant should work on the real time, how a consultant should speak to the business. How are you going to ask the questions? And based on the answers you get, how are you going to design the system? That is what you will be getting trained here.
Venkatesh, it is all because of depending on each and every sector, right? So how we have to design the MM module for them.
Yes.
Yes. So what and all their requirements will be there, and what and all their structure is. So we have to understand their perspective and their point of view, and we have to design accordingly as per their convenience.
Yes.
Thank you.
It will be strange to tell, well, now I'm working in a project. It is an automobile industry. And to just build enterprise structure and make business understand and to fulfill their requirement for just enterprise structure. It took nearly 1 month. 3 consultants working on enterprise structure and to get that approved and to get that signed off, we took 3 months. Sorry, it is not 3 months, it is 1 month with 3 consultants. So
Okay.
it will
Recently, which
completely.
one? The one which you traveled for and you had a break, right, for that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it is very difficult to satisfy business
Hmm.
until and unless they are comfortable seeing the enterprise structure or in any process, it might be in any process. I'm just taking an example of enterprise structure. Before 1 year or 1.5 years, we took 1 month to design enterprise structure, working 3 consultants in a single project.
Where was this project located?
I think it is okay, it is confidential, but I can tell it is Europe.
Okay. Good to know.
Because they don't have any idea on SAP, what is enterprise structure, what is SAP, and how SAP is going to function. They just know their business model. Keeping their business model in mind, we need to build the output for them. So for that, you need to first understand what is the business process. If you understand the business process, building the solutions for them will be easy. So that is what I prefer you to pick any one of the industry and get those researched and prepare some document on it. Because even that will help you when you're explaining the interviewer that you have worked on this project. You need to know in and out of the project or in and out of the business.
Venkatesh, what will be the role of a project manager in this case?
Project manager, you mean the MM lead, or there are 2 project managers. One is MM lead, who is also called as project manager. You have PMO, which is project management owner. He is also called as project manager, who is going to handle the complete all the modules. So which part you want to know?
Actually, I'm not aware who does all these things. Suppose if I enter as a consultant, since I don't have any prior experience, they ask me to prepare enterprise structure for any of these industries. On how do I start? Or will there be anyone to guide us? Or
Yeah, if you're joining as a junior consultant, you will have a senior consultant. Let me tell how the structure works. So whenever the SAP implementation is going to get started, you will have a PMO getting established. So under PMO, you will have 1 lead from implementation team, 1 lead from business team. Under them, you will have a solution architect. You will have 1 solution architect from business, 1 solution architect from implementation team. Under solution architect, you will have the scrum masters who will be leading each module. For 1 module, you will have 1 scrum master. Under scrum master, you will have the consultants working. So this is how the structure is going to work. If you are going to join as a consultant, you will be reporting to the scrum master. So scrum master will take care all the activities what is going to happen in a single module, just a single module. So this is
okay,
how
thank you, Venkatesh.
the level works.
Scrum Master means what will be his scope of work? Like only to assign the jobs and look over the responsibilities of completion?
Just assign the job to the consultants, get the job done, That will be his first task.
Okay.
And the second task is to lead the team. And the third task is to finalize the solution which consultants has built. Consultants can go with the solutions, but the decision making will be the Scrum Master. For
Okay.
one requirement, you need to go with 2 to 3 solutions, and Scrum Master is going to decide what is the solution should go to business.
Means he will be he will be in talks with the business team and
No,
getting a resolution.
All the consultants and the Scrum Master will be in contact with business,
Okay.
but the final decision will be taken by Scrum Master.
At the project's end, like a senior consultant will be in talks with the client, and there will be a manager above him. And the
Yes.
talks, there can be communication gaps, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you have a communication gap, then the manager or the Scrum Master will help you to fulfill those.
Understood. Because I have worked in a construction company earlier, and I've handled the end user part.
Yeah.
Now I'm working for a school industry.
Mm-hmm. Give me a second.
So,
Sorry. Yes, I had some question. I did not listen that question completely. Can you guys continue? And I have some questions in the chat also. Let me take those. So for every new construction sites, they will take the site or plant or a company code. No. So here, when you have a project, so you want to construct a site or construct a building in the site, that is not going to be your plant or company code. You have your company established already. For example, now think that, Arvind, 1 second, Arvind, which platform you're working in and which profile you're working. Let me take the same example so you'll understand better. Hello. I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then I don't receive any response from him. Okay, let me take some example. So think that you are into any of the industry. So you are in manufacturing industry. And when you say that someone is coming and giving you a project, so that project will not become your plant or company code. You already have your company established. The project, what is coming from customer is just a project. You're taking in as a sales order and you're selling it. So that will not become a plant or company code for you. Then, and also what will happen to the completed project and how will the close and what happens to section. So here there is no structure. You are taking the project as a sales order and you are selling the product to the customer. So when you sell the product to the customer through a sales order, it will get fulfilled. Okay, the budget will come from the sales order or the WBS, which is work breakdown structure. Okay. Any more questions?
Venkatesh, I have a question.
Yes.
As a consultant, how you feel, which industry is complex one to build a SAP one?
Complex, the retail.
Means
Retail is
here,
pretty complex.
here construction, automobile, FMCG, pharmaceutical,
Okay.
all things are there,
This
right?
industry, that depends on the companies. For example, if I take automobile, I have worked for Ford and I have worked also for some other automobile industry, but it didn't make much complex for me. When I was working for FMCG, there was one company which made complex, and there was steel company which made more complex than FMCG. So some persons tell, one of my network tells that steel industry is a bit easy to implement. That depends on company to company. I cannot differentiate based on the industry. We need to differentiate based on the company. One of the steel company might be simple. One of the steel company might be complex, because that depends on how they're structuring their business, how they're working into their business, how is their process design and legacy system. So that makes project complex or simple.
Okay, clear. And did you work for any oil and gas?
Sorry?
Did you
No,
work for any oil and
no,
gas?
not oil and gas. There is no oil and gas companies in India much.
Okay, clear,
Venkatesh,
Venkatesh.
the difficulty comes in the conversion of the master data to the new system, right?
Yeah, that depends on the project type. If you're working on greenfield, then that is not a complex thing. If you're working on conversion project, that is from ECC to S4, then it is complex.
Okay. You said about talked about the complexity of each of the industries, right? So that's
So yesterday we discussed regarding the complexity. In greenfield, you will not feel much complex in the
okay.
perspective of master data. In conversion project, you will feel more complex in master data.
Understood. Thanks.
Okay, so let me move further.
Just a question, Venkatesh.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us the difference between a consultant who is permanently hired by a company and a consultant who is on site? So,
On-site and company. So if I understood
yeah,
you correctly, for example, business is hiring a consultant and a implementation partner is hiring a consultant, right?
yes.
Okay. In that case, if implementation partner is hiring a consultant, then you need to work for business to give the solutions to them. When a business is directly hiring you as a consultant, you need to challenge the consultant of the solution they give. That is the difference. So if consultant is giving a solution, then you need to challenge, why is this the solution? Why can't this be the solution? Because you know the in and out before he knows it. So you will have some idea how to build the system. And another consultant from implementation partner is coming and telling you this is a solution. So you should challenge him. Why is this a solution? Why can't this be the solution? There is a pros and cons discussion going on between these two consultants, and the final decision will come there from there.
Okay. No, actually, my question was if a company is hiring you on permanent basis as a consultant, what will be the day-to-day activities that a consultant will do? On-site
Yeah,
consultant, he will be in charge of a greenfield implementation or conversion, but if a company hires a permanent you on permanent basis, what will be the activities?
yeah, that is what I asked. If your question is not clear, completed, because my understanding was, if a consultant is hired by implementation partner and if a consultant is hired by business directly, in that case, the previous will be my answer. If your question is different, and if I take another way, if the implementation partner is hiring you directly, or any of the third party consultancy is going to hire you and give you to the implementation partner, in that case, the activities of a consultant will be same. There is no change of the activities of consultant if it is from where they are getting hired.
Okay.
Okay. So till now we discussed regarding the overview of the construction-based industry. Now let's discuss regarding the scenarios which they come. So I already said that they have precast, they have joinery, they have ALG, and they have pots. If I jump a bit, we already know that what they are doing now. The first thing we need to produce the precast. Precast is nothing but the concrete. What is the first material which is used to produce it? Now you are going to in depth regarding the material master. So you're asking, you are manufacturing the concrete, that is fine. But what all are the materials you are using to produce them? Because concrete has a different mix. If you have any experience in building your house, or whenever you see a concrete mixing, generally we use bricks for the construction and we use concrete for the roof. And in that concrete, we mix cement, sand, small stones, and water. So if you need your house to build strong, then the mix will be different. And if you're giving the same to the contractor, his mixing will be different. So in that case, you need to understand what are the different types of material. Different types of materials. And how are these converted to material types? So go through from the level 1 topics. First, we covered the enterprise structure. Then we covered the material master. So here also we'll be going step by step only. So here we are going to understand what are the different types of material they are using. What are the material types they are using? For sure, they will have the raw material. And what kind of semi-finished material they are using. And you're also going to segregate what are the raw materials, what are the semi-finished materials. So which team and who is responsible in the procurement? So the team who is buying the material, who is managing the materials, who is sourcing the material, all those things. So based on that, you are going to segregate the work to the employees to get the work done from them. And you're also going to ask some questions like, so you are telling that concrete is your main business. You use raw material and you make semi-finished material. You're going to take cement, water, some small stones, all those things as sand as a raw material. And you're going to convert those into semi-finished material. Are you going to sell that semi-finished material? Are you going to use that semi-finished material only for your business perspective? Or are you also going to sell that material outside? So to be clear, concrete. Straightforward question, the concrete is sold or not? Are you selling the concrete or not? If they tell that they don't sell the concrete, in that case, all the semi-finished material and the finished material views will get decided. Why you're asking this question? You're asking this question because when you're creating a material type, you have the views in the material type. The sales view, purchase view, accounting view, costing view. So based on this answer, you will decide what views to maintain for different material type. Okay, if they tell that they are going to sell the material, or if they tell that they are going to transfer the material, they are going to transfer the material from one plant to other plant, then in that case, you need to maintain the sales view. Concrete is designed or concrete is produced by one site or one plant, but generally concrete would be consumption in the internal business. But when they are producing the concrete, they also distribute to the other plants. When they're distributing it, then it is an STO process, the stock transfer process. They're transferring the material from one plant to other plant. In that case, you also need to have the sales view. Okay, then you are going to tell how are you going to issue the concrete to the constructor so that he can use that concrete to build the wall panels or to the roof slab, all those things. So in that case, there might be a PP consultant coming into picture there. The production planning consultant, he will answer you that is through a production order would be there for this type of materials. And from MM point of view, we should ask that, are we also going to have a purchase requisition for this type of materials? And are we going to convert this to the purchase orders? So these are the different types of questions you are going to ask when you are building the material configuration. Are we going to buy the material and sell the material? And what kind of material are you producing now? You can tell that we are producing raw material and we are using the raw material to produce semi-finished material. Okay. And you also need to ask if you're only having concrete, then in that case, you only have one material. They are telling we only have a concrete. In that case, are you going to use only one material? Normally, no. Business will have a lot of different types of concrete. They have grades of concrete. They call M40, M60, M80. This is based on the mix of the concrete. So when the mix is getting changed, they are mixing with different consumption. They're mixing with different raw materials. Then the material is getting changed. So based on their mix, the strength of the concrete will get reduced or increased. So let us say that we have a wall, we have a roof. When you're building a wall panel, you don't want a strong concrete there. You just need a layer to put a cement. But when you're building a roof slab, you need a strong concrete because the complete weight is going to fall on the pillars and the roof slab. So the mix of the raw material is going to get depends on the type of material you product or you produce. So these are the different types of questions you're going to ask based on the materials. Then coming to the vendor master, you are going to ask what are the different types of vendors you are going to segregate. So are we going to segregate the vendors based on the materials, or are we going to segregate the vendors based on the location? If you're buying the material from different locations, should we segregate the vendor based on location? Because that depends how are you going to manage your vendor account groups. How are you going to manage your business partner grouping? So if you see the business blueprint once, which will be built by a consultant, this business blueprint is built in the explore phase. I'll take the business blueprint at explore phase. Here you are just understanding the business. So listening all these requirements, you are going to build a questionnaire. And based on the questionnaires, you're going to get answers from business. And you're going to assume this is how the system will look if I configure SAP for this business. Okay. So now we discussed regarding the materials, we discussed regarding the vendors. The PIR is not an important thing. Whenever you purchase from different vendors, the PIRs will automatically get created. The next question, what all types of procurement are you guys doing? So today we saw two types of procurement. We saw normal standard procurement and we have seen service procurement. So you need to ask, do we have service procurement in scope? So what all topics we are going to cover in level 1, all those will be your questions. Are we going to use this in our business or not? And in some cases, you also need to understand what are the business or what are the business functions or what are the manufacturing process they are doing in their business. If you take an example, now I said that they have a concrete mix, which is M40, M60, and M80. They have a different composition of concrete. So how are they going to do it? So we have a concept called bill of material in SAP. This is SAP terminology. This terminology is like a tree. So if you want to build a concrete, you need sand, you need cement, you have water, you have small stones. If you mix all this, only then you will get this concrete. So how system will come to know that you need to have this raw materials to get the semi-finished material? That is based on the bill of material. You have a concept called bill of material where you're going to store this information, and based on this, the system will pick all the information and it will send to the plant. So now to do the concrete, what we'll be doing is we will be having a Sorry, I think I got disconnected. Can someone tell where did I stop?
Bill of materials.
Okay. Let me share my screen back. Yes. So speaking regarding the bill of material will help us to understand to manufacturing one semi-finished material or a concrete, what all are the raw materials we need. So this is also a master data, but this master data is not for MM people. This master data is for the production planning. Okay. Now, the second thing is, what are the plants called in the construction-based industry? Normally, when we are going to manufacturing the concrete, we have a plant called a batching plant, which is also called as a mixing plant. So it looks like a machine which will mix all the raw materials and give you a semi-finished material. In industries, you will be able to see a huge machines which will mix a lot quantity which you want to do, and you also can automate those. The batching plant can be automated. So those will have a machine, so that will understand what is the raw material they need, and system will pick automatically the raw material and pour it into the batching plant, and that will get mixed, and that will also get stored in the silos. Silos are the big containers. These all are the business languages. So silos are the big containers which are going to store the mixed concrete, and they are going to store in the storage location. So now you need to ask, are these silos going to be a storage location? So I said that silos are going to store the raw materials or this concrete. In that case, should we consider this silos as a storage location or not? Okay, so these are the different types of questions which you will be asking. Now we just discussed regarding the basic part of, we discussed regarding enterprise structure, we discussed regarding material master, we discussed regarding business partner, PIRs, P2P cycle, service, and then we have some accounting issues. Accounting we will come to know in each and every session. We'll discuss regarding the accounting, and we will see those there. Now let me just draft how the business process will look, and we will discuss on those draft. So let me think that this is the business plant, a manufacturing plant. Outside this business, you will have the vendors and you will have the customers. So these are out of your business, and your business is having a manufacturing. So you have vendor, you have your customer. This is your manufacturing plant. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, let me take 4 plants what I discussed. Here you will have the concrete, which is called as precast. Okay. Then you will have the joinery. Okay. Then you will have your pots. Then you will have your ALM or ceramics, or sorry, glasses. So when you want to start, when a business wants to start any of the manufacturing, they need the raw material into their manufacturing plant. So who is going to supply the raw material? The vendors are going to supply the raw material to you. As soon as vendor supplies the raw material to you, you are going to store this in your storage location. Okay. So here also you will have some lot of storage locations where you will be storing your raw materials. From this storage location, this is a precast plant. You will send all your raw materials to the precast plant. And based on bill of material, you will send what all are required to your batching plant. So all will come here. The manufacturing happens. The concrete is getting manufactured, and let me take this as your silos, and you're going to store all your concrete in your silos. In the same fashion, you have your joinery. Vendor will send you the raw material to the joinery department. That is nothing but a wood. And you'll start manufacturing the wood here, and you prepare the doors or windows, all those things, and keep it ready. Then this vendor will again send the raw material of the pots. That might be the ceramic. You will have your ceramic machines, and you will design your toilet, all those things, and keep it ready. In the same way, you have your aluminum gas, and vendor will send the glasses. You'll cut the glasses and make the doors ready and keep it in this plant. So these all are your storages. So in business, you have two types of business. One is MTO and MTS. So MTO is nothing but make to order. MTS is nothing but make to stock. Your plants who are working in your manufacturing plant will not stop working anytime. So what happens? Which materials are high sellers? They will mention those high sellers materials as MTS, make to stock. Which materials are low sellers? They will call them as MTO, which is make to order. Because when I say make to stock, you will keep on manufacturing the material and you will keep on storing in the stock. When I say make to order, you will start manufacturing that material only when the customer order comes. Okay, when the customer order comes, only then you will manufacture those and send to the customer. That is make to order. That is very important. Make to order is nothing but when the customer order comes, only then you will manufacture the material and send to the customers. Make to stock is nothing but there is no, don't need to wait for the customer order. You will manufacturing and keep the stock in your warehouse, and as soon as the order comes, you will send. So this precast, joinery, pots, aluminum, all are going to be your make to stock. In this construction based industry, you will not have any MTO orders, which is make to order. All are MTS. Okay, make to order, most of the make to order will be applicable in FMCG and pharma chemical company because they have the expiry dates. Food products and the medicines have an expiry date. They cannot manufacture the material and store it. If they are fast movers also, we cannot store it. When the order comes, then manufacture and send to the customers. Okay, now you have all your materials ready in your plants, but all are disassembled. Now you need to assemble everything. So from the batching plant, you are going to send the concrete to the customer. From pots, you send the ceramics to the customer. From here, the glass and doors will go. From joinery, the doors will go. Everything will go to customer. And from vendor, you will be sending in some cases. If you have your manpower, the assembly manpower, you will send the manpower from your side itself. This is a manpower. If you don't have the manpower, you request vendor to send the manpower from his side and he will send the manpower here. When he's sending a manpower, he will also send the safety shoes, safety helmets, jackets, all these. So all these are indirect material. So we saw this indirect material as a consumables. So when we was discussing regarding the material types, we discussed regarding the word called consumables. So these are not stored in our warehouse. We are purchasing from vendor, we are using on the same spot. So everything will come here. Everything will get assembled here. The apartment is getting built just with an assembly. And you are ready to deliver the apartment or house to the customer. So this is what is going to happen in the construction-based industry. Everything is going to happen in a single factory, but in different plants. After all the plants are ready, they send all their semi-finished material. They get raw material from India. They manufacture everything here. This becomes semi-finished material. Everything will go to customer, assemble, then they'll become finished material. Okay, so this is how the construction-based industry works. So now I just explained an overview of the construction-based industry. If you have any interest on construction-based industry, then take one of the industry, search in the Google and find what is the revenue, how is their work happening, what are the products they do, and what are the service they provide, all those things. Based on that, you might get some more information from those and start building your enterprise structure and start building your complete end-to-end SAP cycle in those industries. Okay. And if you have any interest on other industries, if you don't get any thoughts on it, we can discuss on those. Okay. And we can build some ideas on those. Any questions?
No, Venkatesh.
Yes.
In the plan of the teaching dummy projects, which which module will you teach? In the sense, will it be automotive or steel industry? Which type of industry are you going to teach us?
In which? Sorry, I didn't get your question.
Anyway, we have the dummy project training, right? Post this level 2. I think in level 2 itself.
No, in level 2, we don't do any, you mean like an internship?
No, are we going? Yes.
No, in this, I think we will be taking a steel industry because we have the requirement from steel industry. And we also have a requirement from one more industry. I don't remember the industry. No, I don't remember the industry. I need to check. We have two industries from where we have the requirement. So you'll get trained based on those industry. One, I can confirm it is steel industry. That is a different program. That is not included in this level 1 and level 2. That is a different program.
So aren't we going through any implementation project details in level 2 also?
In level 2, we will discuss only the phases, what are the work we will be doing in each and every phases. And we will give you 1 or 2 requirements from business and you can work on those requirements, but not a complete end-to-end cycle.
Okay.
Venkatesh, then how we can show experience working in a project?
Showing experience in a project, that's what I said. So you can check this, if you can take one industry and research based on that industry and start implementing those in SAP and get the knowledge on that. If you really want to see how a consultant works in a real-time project, it is a real-time work, right? So it is going to be an internship program. So we will be having an internship program where you can enroll for that and get trained on that. So we will give the requirement to you and you will work as a consultant and we will act as a business. So that is how it works.
Okay, understood.
Here you will get knowledge theoretically, but in internship program you will get practically. That is the difference.
Understood.
Can you please give us some information about the paid internship if you have enough time?
Regarding the internship, right?
Yes.
Regarding internship, if I want to speak something, so what we will do there is, in the same way, we will take one business as an example. We will discuss how the business is going to work, and we will ask you to build the enterprise structure according to that business. So if we will club 2 to 3 people in a single group, and you 3 people or 2 people should work together and come up with the enterprise structure to us. And based on the enterprise structure you build, we will discuss what are the pros and cons. And after that, we will try to build the questionnaires. What are the questions you need to ask your business? That is the second part. And then we will, most of the things what we are going to cover is the customization there. So here you have already covered the standard part. And how are you going to cover the customization? For example, if you want to do interface, if you want to do an enhancement, or if you want to build a report forms, then how are you going to work as a consultant and get the output triggered from them? So that is how it works in the internship program. So if possible, I'll share a link with you guys for which we had a demo on how internship program works. So you can watch those, so you'll have more insight on that.
Thank you, Akhilesh.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. This is Mahendra. My question is that if I'm working currently, I'm working in a procurement department of a company. So how can I show my experience for implementation kind of projects? Because
Yeah,
maybe
that part I cannot discuss it here because each and every person has different experience.
Hmm.
Call me tomorrow at morning 8 or 9 is fine. We can speak in detail regarding that because this is not the correct platform to speak.
Okay.
How are we going to take the conversion of experience?
Okay.
Any question? Okay. If no questions, then we'll wrap up here and we will meet next week to discuss on the other topics.
Venkatesh,
Yes.
one last question. The thing is, in this configuration part, will we get to know about the agreements and all, how to configure and the agreement part?
If you mean agreement, it is contract
Same
and
agreements.
contract and
Yes,
schedule
yes,
agreement.
yes,
Yes,
contractual agreement.
it is already covered in the last week.
Okay.
Last week you can check last week Sunday's class, I guess.
Okay. Thanks.
We covered it there.
That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. Fine. Then if no questions, can we wrap up here? Okay. Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.